Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Uri Burstyn, and this little blob in the corner of your screen is Mr. Pirate the cat, who's joining me for the video today. Pirate, would you like to make an appearance? There we go. Hi little man. We're here to talk to you about a very important topic today, and that is whisker stress in cats. Now, I am often very, very critical of my profession. I am not always proud of being a veterinarian or of what veterinarians do out there, but there are times when I am very, very pleased to be a vet indeed. And one of those times was recently when I was doing my regular journal search. Got to keep up on the literature. You hear that, vets? You got to keep up with the literature. Don't just rely on what you learned in school 20 years ago. So I was reading some journals and I found this article that absolutely made my day. Evaluation of whisker stress in cats by Jennifer Slovak and Taylor Foster, lately of the Animal Medical Center in New York. Clearly a couple interns trying to crank out a paper just to get into residencies. And this is clearly a very, very important topic. And I'm very, very proud of the fact that we've brought the full weight of our consideration and the scientific method to the issue of whisker stress in cats. Today's video has been kindly sponsored by Pet Libro, a manufacturer of automatic cat feeders and little water fountains for cats. They design really stylish and functional products that would look fantastic in even the classiest of abodes. And as you can see, there's no lack of enthusiasm for them by my furry little crew. This little feeder is really fantastic because you can program feeding times and amounts into it, so you can customize the feeding schedule to your cats. And if you want to get a little silly, you can also program whatever funny song you sing to your cats when it's time for them to eat. Now, I know you all have one. Don't pretend you don't. I'm not ashamed of who I am. Please check out the link in the description below for Pet Libro's product line, and your cats too can soon start worshipping at the foot of this very, very well-designed, handsome black obelisk. Some of you may be wondering, what exactly is whisker stress? It's a fairly common kind of thing that's been floating on the internet. A lot of you probably heard people talking about it, but I'm happy to review that with you. But first, let's talk about what are whiskers, besides being potentially the best part of a cat. Whiskers, Mr. Pirate will happily demonstrate these little structures right here, and then he's got little eyebrow whiskers as well. Let's not forget about those. Yes, you have wonderful eyebrow whiskers. Whiskers are basically just highly specialized hairs. They're hairs that grow very, very long and relatively thick and stiff, and they have a really, really prominent neurovascular bundle in the follicle. Let's look at these whiskers from a different angle, huh, Mr. P? Rawr. Whiskers. So what this means is that, like all hairs, whiskers grow from follicles, and there's a lot of nerves wrapped around the base of each whisker in the follicle, which lets cats sense where the whiskers are in space very, very precisely, as well as be able to tell even the lightest pressure against them. And as you can see, Mr. Pirate, like all cats, reacts to stimulation of his whiskers by wanting to get off the table. So whiskers are highly specialized hairs with a very, very well-developed nerve supply, and this allows them to sense pressure and motion at the tips of the whiskers. And what whiskers do for cats is they're basically a sensory organ. They're kind of analogous to our fingertips. They're a sensory organ that allows them to explore the space around them, and it's particularly useful at night or in low light conditions, because remember, cats often hunt at dusk and dawn when light is the worst and when all the prey animals can't see them coming. So whiskers can be used to pick their way through the forest, through tall grass. They can also be used in burrows. If a cat is diving into a burrow, whether in chase of prey or maybe that's where they live, with whiskers, and this is where those eyebrow whiskers come in really handy, help them sense the dimension of the burrow so they don't bump their heads or run into anything. So they're basically a tactile sensory organ. Now, there's been a lot of myths going around the internet about whiskers, most prominently that cats don't like having their whiskers contact the sides of a food dish as they eat. Having demonstrated whiskers, Mr. Pirate decided to go for a walk, but he'll be back. So it's hard to say where this myth originated from, that cats will somehow resent or be stressed out by having their whiskers touch the edge of a bowl. My guess is that it comes from the fact that anorexia is a common feature of many cat diseases. It's often a very frustrating challenge to deal with when cats are sick. And so, of course, in attempting to deal with this challenge, people come up with all sorts of theories and explanations because, frankly, it's not always an easy thing to manage. So the theory goes that whiskers touching the edge of the bowl somehow annoys the cat or stresses them out or does something negative that impedes their ability to eat or reduces their food intake. The cynic in me believes that this theory of whisker stress in cats is largely bolstered by attempts to sell specialized cat food dishes that are basically in a funny shape that is supposed to relieve poor little cats of any whisker stress they may or may not experience. So bowls like this, you see, it's kind of oval. So you can imagine if a cat sticks their face in it, their whiskers won't really touch the sides, assuming it's aligned just right, which, you know, if anybody's ever actually seen a cat eat, will tell you is not going to happen because cats have a very strong opinion as to where they should be, and it's constantly changing, and it's never the same as yours. Speaking of which, if you guys really want to see cats eating, particularly out of this dish, I strongly encourage you to check out my video of cats eating that I recorded last summer during COVID. I've been told, at least by the YouTube comments, that it is the best cat ASMR on YouTube. And you can see this specialized dish in use by Mr. Pirate and Miss Claudia. So yeah, so this idea of whisker stress mostly exists, in my opinion, to sell food dishes, cat food dishes. And I don't know why I have this oval one. I have a round one, I have an oval one. I think at some point I just wanted to see if cats have a preference for a food dish. You know, TLDR, they do not. They just trade places. They do have a preference for the other cat's food dish. So it doesn't matter what food I put in a dish or which dish which cat goes to first, they'll always change places halfway through their meal. So Pirate will be at one, Claudia will be at the other, and then just change places because, of course, the other cat's food always tastes better. So Drs. Slovak and Foster brought the full weight of the scientific method to test this hypothesis that whisker stress is a significant factor in cat feeding behavior. They did a very neatly designed study, and they've demonstrated conclusively that, drumroll please, there's no such thing. So their study shows that, in fact, food intake by normal healthy cats is not affected by dish shape, which, if you stop to think about it for a minute, makes a lot of sense because, you know, if a cat that's a small mammal adapted to catching rodents and has sensory organs specifically designed for going to tight spaces to catch rodents for feeding, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that stimulation of those sensory organs would somehow impede their natural feeding behavior. But at least now we have solid scientific evidence of it. So you can still buy one of these dishes if you want to. Certainly it's fun to have different shapes in your cat's life, and I don't know, maybe you like the decorations. I love the little paw prints on this one. But you really don't need to worry about the size or shape of your cat feeding dish affecting your cat's appetite. Now you can worry about a million other things affecting your cat's appetite, but you know, if your cat's not eating as much as they usually do, it's probably a good time to check in with your veterinarian. Pirate, you want to join me for the wrap-up? Well, I'm very happy that you guys were able to join me for this very important video. If you'd like to see slightly less silly and more useful videos, you can check out the rest of my channel where I have videos on a variety of topics that are very, very important for any pet owner to know. Everything from the common diseases of older cats to how to get cats to eat new food, how to do nail trims, and a bazillion other things, including good cat squishing technique, which I'm sure most of you are already familiar with. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Mr. Pirate will thank me very much when I put him down and feed him out of his oval-shaped food dish in a minute. And please remember to hit like, hit subscribe, share this video around. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever else you can find me. I'm not even sure. I don't do much social media, to be honest. But please do like and share this video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel for more of these, and check out the Patreon if you want to support my work. And Mr. Pirate's fluffy little belly needs a lot of support. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.